All right, we live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Candid Convos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe, we got Vince. Say what's up to the people.
Hello, hello.
What's up, everybody?
What's good? What's good? Let's say we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Like I said, we are live on YouTube. So definitely, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Let's say share out the show. We want to get this show to as many of our people as possible. Let's say we talk about a lot of content that is of the utmost importance to our people. And I said we try and get this message and get as many people as possible involved in these conversations. One, like I said, we want different ages, we want different perspectives, we want different sexes, you name it. So definitely share out the show, help us grow the platform. And like I said, drop a subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up to, essentially increase our reach. Man, so how was y'all holiday weekend? Anybody?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I felt like I got some rest, so it was good. And then my B day was on Sunday, so we got a chance to hang out, and it was good. I can't complain. I needed
Okay.
that.
Okay, well, happy belated, Miss Chloe.
Oh,
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
About you, Vince? What you have going on for the weekend, man?
it was okay. I know you guys are on Facebook. I had a death in my family. My
Oh,
Oh man, I
yeah,
saw
my
that.
yeah, my favorite aunt passed. The one who I've worked with since I was 14.
oh wow.
So
Man,
I'm
mentor.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
My condolences to you and your family.
thank you, thank you.
Hmm.
for sure. And like I said, just based off of the, because I saw the post, just based off of that, man, she sounded like she was a great, great young lady. Definitely cared about folks, definitely, led and represented, what leadership and nurturing looks like. So man, like I said, I definitely apologize for that loss, brother.
Thank
But it
you.
sounds like she left her mark, man.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely.
For sure. And like I said, at the end of the day, man, that's what matters, man. The mark that you leave, um, as you transition on, man, the mark that you leave on people, the people that you touch, the people that you helped, um, that's what success looks like. Yeah, like honestly, that's really what it's all about. It's not about just about this money and all this material stuff that we hold in high regard. It's really about the mark and the influence, and the mentorship, that you provide and leave on folks, as you transition on. So let's say salute to her. Let's say sounds like she was a great woman, man. Um,
Thank you.
but yeah, let's hit this housekeeping real quick. I said then we're gonna get on into this topic. Um, Yeah, we got another doozy for tonight. Let me throw this up real quick for anybody who's watching right now. Here's the link to the panel, so you can drop this in your browser, in your Google Chrome, and your Microsoft Edge, Apple device, whatever you got. Drop it in your browser. You can join us on the panel. Like I said, we always encourage you to join us on the panel. You do have the ability to cut your camera off. That's totally up to you. But we always encourage you to, cam up, join us on the panel. Makes for better engagement, for a better conversation. So let's tackle this housekeeping real quick. Then we're going to get on into this topic. All right. All right. Shout out to our sponsor for tonight, Chloe Price. So she's got the her website, basically keeping up with Chloe. She's got links to all of her entrepreneur endeavors out here. She has her nails and her lashes. So ladies, if you're trying to get your lashes on, you ain't trying to fly away, you're trying to get the right equipment, definitely go check Chloe's page out for the lashes and the nails. She's also got the handbags, the Havana handbags, which are the custom cigar box handbags or clutches, if you will. One-off pieces. Like I said, nobody gonna be jocking your style. It's gonna be all original. So definitely check that out as well. She also has her prayer journal listed as well. She put together the awesome prayer journal, to support folks in their mission and their growth process. Like I said, just words of encouragement and plenty of room for documenting, thoughts and notes and so forth. So definitely go check that out as well. So you can catch the site at imcprice.wixsite.com. wixsite.com/keeping up with Chloe. That's imcprice.wixsite.com/keeping up with Chloe. All right. So we got that out the way. All right. So let me drop this link real quick. And then we're going to do what we do. Give me one sec.
I'm ready to get into this topic.
Oh, for sure. All right. So we also got the link to the panel in the chat as well. So you can catch that on YouTube. As I said, you can get in chat that way as well. But I'll also have it up on the screen for a little bit. All right. So, topic for tonight. Y'all think this is a game? Let me run that back. Topic for tonight. Y'all think this is a game? All right. So we're gonna get on into it. I got a video for some context so we can get into this conversation. Yeah, this is a much needed conversation. So we're gonna get this popping.
Hey, TikTok. You know, it's crazy because I joke a lot about being single and, you know, I laugh it off. But I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me get ready. I'm 46 years old and I still need my mama to take care of me post-op. I still need my sister, which whether I had a husband or not, they would be there. It sucks. Being single and 46 sucks. That's it. It just sucks. And I'm tired. And I make jokes about the buffoons that I have been encountering in dating. But in reality, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is my reality, and those stories are the shit that's available because all the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men. I'm not blaming it all on men because women are shit. They've bad shit crazy too. So, but this is my reality, not anybody else's. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So that's the context for tonight's topic. Y'all think this is a game? All right. So that video was a young lady. I think she was preparing to have a surgery. And it looks like she just had a moment in the car. and she just laying it all out on the table. 46 years old, single, no man, no marriage. And I think it's hitting. It's hitting. Like she said, her reality hit hard today. It's hitting. And I'm not sure that a lot of women and men as well, but in particular women, let's say, because I hear a lot of stories like this young lady's. I don't think that a lot of women today are thinking about long term. Yeah, I think we do a lot of current day living, a lot of short term living, but I don't really think that we consider long term and what long term looks like. And let's say, going back to the young lady's video, like I said, I think it's hitting home for her that at 46 years old, she still is unmarried. And just using her surgery situation as an example or a foundation for her thoughts, she don't even have anybody really to help. Yeah, she mentioned family, but of course, you can't always depend on family. And then two, it's not always their responsibility. They might have their own lives, own families, and so forth, own responsibilities and so forth. But yeah, I think it's getting real. I think it's getting real out here. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of folks think that this thing is still a game. So yeah, I want to get y'all perspectives on the video, what you thought about what the young lady said, where did it take you, in your thought process. So just give me your thoughts on, on what y'all thought about the young lady's video. So Vince, Chloe, either one of y'all can go first.
I think, first of all, it was so honest, like it was really honest and real. This is the part about I got all the time in the world. I want to think about, I need to get my education first. I need to be, tunnel vision on my career. This is what this looks like years in the future. So when, like you said, the long game, there's not enough people thinking about that instead of just what's good for right now. So, when you have the time, like she said, when you should maybe be giving this some time and some attention and making it more of a priority, um, not saying that you shouldn't prioritize, having a career, or that's not even what we're saying, but there's time. Everybody's always talking about all this time. We all have the same 24 hours. There's time. There's time for you to prioritize the quality of your life and not just the quantity of your life and how much you're going to have. Because having a lot and having no one to share it with or no one to pass it on or not being able to create that legacy does what? When you're in your, she's only in her 40s, but when you're in your 50s or your 60s and all our healths are going to naturally just start to decline a bit regardless. And not having anyone to, that you can help take care of, they can help take care of you, not having a partner, not having someone to help you. I just think, this is what this looks like. And I wish that more women, our age, her age, my age, like our age, would speak more into and pour more into the women younger than we are that are going through what we had to go through, 20 years ago or 30 years ago. We need to be reaching back as mature women. We need to be reaching back and saying, hey, don't do it this way. Or let me tell you what this really looks like. Instead of, these older women still glorifying hot girl summer and you're 45. Like you're 45. It ain't hot girl summer anymore, unless you're talking about menopause. Because like that's like the era you entering into. So let's just be honest about this thing. Older women are are wanting to look younger and younger. And when I say look, I don't mean like skin. They want to look younger and younger, like tight dresses, barely their clothing, lashes that look like they have spider webs on their eyes, things like that, as opposed to us actually pouring into the younger women and helping them correct some of the mistakes that we made. And here is this woman, perfect example. She, taking accountability for the fact that, hey, look, you know, maybe there's some men out here that, ain't doing this or whatever, but there's women out here that aren't on theirs, aren't on theirs as well. Either way it goes, the good men were married in their 20s and 30s. Like I think, there's no shortage of women right now that are in their 40s and, doing these videos like this. Like how many of these videos have you come across where it's a woman in her early to mid 40s and she's talking about how, you know, she's tired, she don't want to be independent no more, she ready for a man, she, whatever. And I think, this should be a cautionary tale for the young women coming up right now that are saying hot girl summer and I don't need a man and, he got to be six, or I can't really fool with it. Like I think this is a cautionary tale for you. Look at this, not dogging this woman because I'm proud of her for being honest, but I'm saying, look at this. This is your future.
That's real. That's real. That's real. You want to say anything, Vince?
First, I want to start off, with the fragrance of the evening.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me introduce. I almost slipped up. So let's say shout out to Vince. So we got to do the fragrance of the evening. Let's say we're supposed to do this earlier in the show. I slipped up. Go ahead, Vince. Do your thing, man.
Fragrance of the day is Spice Bomb.
Okay.
And this is the male fragrance to Flower Bomb for the ladies. Has a similar scent, but the male scent is a little bit more spicier. This is an everyday scent to wear to the office, to wear on the job. I don't really wear this that much, but it has a very distinctive scent. So it's Spice Bomb, found at all of your luxury stores.
There it is. Shout out to the Spice Bomb. I like how that sound. I like how that sound. Do you want to say anything, Vince, man?
Yes, this takes me back to my mother's situation. I know I've talked about this before, but in the past 5 years, I've had maybe 4 or 5 people very close to me pass. My mother, who was single, my other aunt, who was single, my cousin's father, who was single, and my best friend's father, who was single, and all of them passed very not tragically, but very sad. I often go back to a conversation that me and my mother had, and by the time my mother started getting sick, we started to have some real conversations, some real honest conversations about where we were in life, about where she was in life, and I know often a lot of times we don't question our mothers, and I think that that's the problem with some of us because nobody really questions a black woman. So, one day we were in the car and my mother was older. She had us had illnesses, and I was like, "Mom, why don't you find you a little friend? Just somebody to walk around the park with, or just somebody." Oh, well, Vince, these men ain't this or these men ain't that, and then I said, well, Mom, I said, well, I thought about it. I didn't say it because I think that she would not have accepted it and she would have got very upset. But my mother gave all her years, and she's passed now, so I can talk about it. My mother gave her quality years to a married man that she couldn't have from 30, no, from maybe about 28 to about 42. And I remember those years. I remember there were some decent guys who came along because my mother was fine. My mother was about 5 foot, 110 pounds, chocolate, fine. So I remember the Wayne County sheriffs coming over there and police officers, but she was stuck on the married guy. And I think that my mother always thought that she had time. She always thought that, well, okay, well, eventually I'll do this. And of course, she he was older than her, a lot older than her, maybe about 20 years older than her. So it was the typical situation. He had money, things of that nature. So it was so sad when he died of cancer and she was not able to go to the funeral. She wasn't even able to pay her respects. And she got no benefit of that relationship after he passed. Yeah, she got the trinkets and the gifts while he was here, but at the end of the day, he died. She had no life insurance. She had no social security, and she died of a broken heart. And I think my mother fell into a depression, and she never got over it. And my mother passed at 67, and she thought basically her life was over. I would plead with her to exercise and get well. And she'd be like, well, I'm 67 and I don't. I said, Ma, you only 67 years old. That's not old. My grandmother's still living. My great grandmother lived to 102. So she got pretty good genes. And I think that was when I found the Godfather. And he spoke a lot to my situations. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about the intention and really looking at things for what they are and understand that we don't have a lot of time in this world and we have to take um, accountability of what we've done and just try to make it better. As far as the men, I think that applies to men as well. My cousin's father passed and they were estranged. He lived here, she lived in Atlanta. She came to visit one time because she said that she hadn't seen her father she hadn't heard from her father for about 2 weeks. They had just got back together. Um, and she went there to see him, and he didn't open the door. He lived in the senior facility. They opened the door. He was dead. Had been dead in his apartment for 3 weeks. Nobody called to check on him. He had nobody. His estranged daughter, who he had no relationship with at all, pretty much, except for these last maybe about 3 years, had to find him. They didn't even have a service, for him because they didn't know their father. They didn't know who to call. They didn't know his friends. Nothing. It was like he was never here, and it was so sad. That's a sad way to live when you can die and nobody wants to memorialize your death. You didn't touch anyone to the effect that somebody wanted to memorialize you. And also, even myself, as you guys know, I got married. I was married before and married again as I was older. I never wanted to die alone. I knew I wanted a wife. And I knew I couldn't depend on my kids. My kids had their own life. I have two grown children. I have one in New York and one in Indiana, and they live their own life. And I always knew that I didn't want to live my later years alone, and I needed to get myself together, take accountability for my actions and the things that I was doing wrong, and find that wife. And I think some women, even when I think that who can question a black woman? I see that when I speak in because most of the time, if you ask about well, why aren't you married? Why you have a relationship? Oh, well, these men ain't this and these men ain't that. So I'm just gonna ask a couple questions just to prove your theory because most people is okay. These men, okay, so okay, well, let's evaluate that. The men that you chose, I asked a couple questions. then it's glaring.
Bruh.
Oh, you attacking me, and I don't need this, and who are you to say anything? Just ask a couple questions.
Yep. that's how that goes, man.
Because men are questioned all the time about our behavior. Men need to step up, take care of your kids, man up, be a leader. Da, 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 da.
Facts. No, that's true, man. That's true. Listen, you bring up a good point, man. Who can question women these days?
Not even other women.
No, like
Not
nobody.
even other women. Like women don't want women in general, right? But because I deal more with the women in my community, then I have to speak more on the women in my community because those are the women that I'm around and I have access to. And they don't want you. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be questioned. Um, they don't want to be told what to do, even when it's not. And that's how it comes off to them. You're telling them what to do. So like if you give them advice, you say, hey, don't go down that street. Like you're telling them that because you've been down that street before and it ends bad. And so you're like, no, you don't want to do that. And they're like, well, I mean, you don't think I know what to do. It's wait a minute. I'm trying to help. Like, why would you want to go in a direction that I'm telling you is bad? Like, why would you want to do that? It's the I'm gonna speak for myself culture. I'm gonna speak for myself.
Facts.
I mean, you can't tell them anything.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that that is a part of the problem, right? So a lot of these conversations, or better yet, there's a lot of conversations that are going on right now, around relationships and marriage and submission and leadership and protection and providing, and so many conversations going on. And yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Vince. I mean, these days, you just can't tell ladies anything. Like you just can't tell them anything. And even if it's in their best interest. Yep, even if it's in their best interest, even if it's a fella trying to execute his protection for a woman, like she don't want to hear that either. So, yeah, I think all of that plays into this issue. Like I said, looping back to the young lady's video that I put up, this ain't no game. Yeah, that lady said she was 46 years old. I said 46 is not old, but 46 is a challenge when you are active in the dating market. Because a lot of things change, especially for, females in the dating market at 46. There's a chance that there's some children involved. There's a chance it's not a chance. There's some baby fathers involved. There's some, fertility issues that start to pop up. There's, physical changes that folks go through. Like things change as you get older. And like I said, for the young lady in the video, like I said, I think it is hitting home that things have changed. And essentially, she is running out of time. Yep. And then the other part that I want to touch is what do you do or what do ladies think about or think things are, how do ladies think things are going to go when they get older? Yep. And what I mean by that is I'm talking past 46. So I'm talking about getting into retirement age. Yeah, this is another benefit of being married. This is another benefit of being in a relationship. You still have support when you get to those ages. You are not by yourself. Yep, and you if you've entered in a relationship with the man and you two can now support each other, you have a better chance to survive in this society. Yep, and just that one fact alone always puzzles me, that people will walk around today talking about they don't need no man. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, because everybody needs somebody. So I'm not sure why it would ever benefit us as a people ever to champion being single. So I need somebody to help it, or make it make sense, as they say. I need I need somebody to help me understand it. Like I said, the young lady in the video, like I said, she's literally going through a whole moment just as she prepares to go into a surgery. Yeah, we're not even talking about old age. She's just talking about a surgery today and all the issues that are present because she is by herself. So I need somebody to help me understand, how do we get people to understand that this ain't no game?
But
Well,
that's, oh no, you
Go
go
ahead.
first, Spence. You go
I'll
ahead.
go back to my mother's situation. That was very prevalent. My mother had worked all her life, had worked since she was 18 years old, and had decent jobs. My mother worked for the late great Barbara Rose Collins. For the city, my mother worked for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. My mother worked for the Detroit newspaper. So my mother bought her own home when she was about 30 something years old. But we need to stop the cap, because we most of us are living check to check. The pandemic showed us that, where they had to actually give people money to stay home with their children.
Yeah.
This, I don't know if you guys heard this new Bank America loan where they're giving you 100% financing, which is mainly for the black population. They said, if we were doing so good, why do we need all these special programs? Why we need no money down? Um, not gonna look at the credit if we doing so good. Why
Mm-hmm.
are we begging the government for $10,000 student loan debt, repayment, if we doing so good?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me
let's understand that, and it was shocking for me, because I really didn't know how much it costs either. And you can't, if you're trying to get government insurance or government help, you can't have anything. You can't have over $4,000 in your bank account. You can't
right.
own a home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people really understand the amount that healthcare costs in your senior years. These surgeries, these hospital stays,
Medicine.
medication.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you're
Yeah.
living on, and then also we got to stop the cap, because even our grandparents at least stayed at a job and was able to build a pension and maybe get a little money. We're not staying at jobs long enough. We're changing jobs every 5 years, and the pension situation is not like it used to be, where we can save a lot. My mother was a single mother. How much are you really gonna save if you're making average money and trying to take care of a child?
Yeah.
Right,
Agreed.
right, right.
Especially my mother, and she sacrificed a lot. My mother kept me in parochial school, Jesu, Christ the King. I graduated from Benedictine. That was a sacrifice from my mother, but she did
Mm-hmm.
it so I would be better. But she didn't have any help.
Right.
Right.
Been with
Wow.
this man 18 years. He died. She didn't get no pension from him, no Social Security. At
Mm-hmm.
least Big Mama got a house paid for. She got granddaddy's death benefit. If he had a pension, probably had some life insurance, and she's able to live another 20 had two types of insurances, had her insurance plus his insurance subsidy. So we got to stop the cap. We not making no whole lot of money. And these ladies, we bossing and we y'all a couple paychecks from the poorhouse.
Right. No, that's real. That's real right there. And let me run this. I got a couple folks asking me to run this video back, just so they had the context. So I'm gonna run this real quick. Yeah, it's not that long of a video. Let me run this back one more time real quick.
Hey, TikTok. You know, it's crazy because I joke a lot about being single and, you know, I laugh it off. But I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me get ready. I'm 46 years old and I still need my mama to take care of me post-op. I still need my sister, which if I had a husband or not, they would be there. It sucks. Being single and 46 sucks. That's it. It just sucks. And I'm tired. And I make jokes about the buffoons that I have been encountering in dating. But in reality, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is my reality, and those stories are the shit that's available because all the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men. I'm not blaming it all on men because women are shit. They've bad shit crazy too. So, but this is my reality, not anybody else's. That's all.
All right, so yes, I just want to run that back for the folks who were asking. So that's the video that we're discussing tonight, which coincides with the topic. Y'all think this is a game? So yeah, like I said, I hope we can turn this corner. Yeah, like I said, we have a lot of conversations around some of those foundational things. Like I said, being feminine, masculine, leadership, being submissive. And even in some of those, conversations, we can see some of the missing pieces or some of the breakdowns, if you will. But yeah, this is not a game. Yeah, this is serious out here. Like I said, the clock is ticking. Time waits for no one. Like I said, I think we all know that by this point. Yeah, and all of this bucking and stuff that we doing and fighting each other and arguing just to be right or not listening to understand, just listening to respond, like all this nonsense that we doing out here. We ain't got time to keep playing. Yeah, we really don't. And like I said, to the ladies out there who are going around championing not needing a man, this young lady's video right here is testament to why you need a man. Yeah, you heard something that she said. She made a very powerful point. And she literally said, I don't have anybody to take care of me. So for all the ladies talking about they don't need a man, you better think twice about that. Think twice about that. Seriously. Yeah, men play a vital role. I don't think we understand how vital that role is. Yep, I really don't think we understand how vital that role is. I know we try to reduce the man's role to just his financial resources, but it's so much more to it. So much more to it. So much more being brought to the table than just some financial resources. You want to say something, Chloe?
No, I mean, not well. I was just thinking, like, what are some of the reasons? And I don't know how active the comments are tonight, but what are some of the reasons why? Like maybe we should examine some of the reasons why we end up in this particular situation. Like, why are we in the situation where we have so many women that are getting to this point in their 40s? Like I was saying earlier, there seems to be no shortage of videos of women who are making these types of, stance, this stance right here. This, hey, I'm in my 40s, and maybe it was fun being single in my 20s and in my 30s, but now it's not so fun anymore. Like, the truth of the matter is, we all have to, nothing our like, when you start to get to this point, like you do, I don't know if I should say it this way, but it's the truth. Like, we all start thinking about our morality. I mean, like, we start thinking about, our mortality. That's the word I'm looking for. We all start thinking about that. Like, we're just not as scrappy. We're just not, as, um, the energy starts to kind of, ebb and flow. Like, it's just not the same. And who wants to be at a point where you're entering into a season, of where you just want rest, where you really just, your peace is just so important to you. And yet you don't have anyone to share anything that you have been able to achieve for yourself. You don't have anyone to share it with. And I just, I feel like some of the reasons that I've heard is like, oh, I was focused on my career. I was focused on my education. And like I said earlier, you can do both. I don't know where we got the idea at that you can't get an education and still date. And I don't mean date to have fun. Date seriously, like date someone that you might actually consider being with. I don't know where we got the idea that, it's okay to, I don't want to say the word. I'm trying not to cuss, but mess over time. Like, where did we get the idea that it's okay to screw over time? Time is the one thing you can't get back. You can lose money and get it back. You can't, lost time can't be found. So once it's gone, it's gone. So when did it become okay to just screw over time? Like life. Like a span of your life to just be like, oh, just where your 20s are just for making all the mistakes. And
Yeah.
that's you until you in your 40s and you're living out the consequences of those mistakes. Then it's
Yeah.
not.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, it's just not as cute anymore. So I would like to know what some of these reasons are for, why we find ourselves with so many women getting to the point where now they're in their 40s, mid 40s, early 40s, and they're saying, hey, I'm tired. I heard she's not the only one. She's not the first one to say she's tired. She's like, I'm tired. I don't want to be, I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired. And the reason why you're tired, and this, I know this is a little off topic, but I gotta say this since we're talking about it. The reason why you're so tired, women, and I'm saying this from personal experience, y'all act like I'm not a woman too. You know, like I'm saying to some person, you're tired because you are fighting your own nature. Every day you go out here and you try to be on this masculine energy, on this I can do everything a man can do. I want to be equal. That just is that goes against your entire nature. If women can say they understand what femininity is, and basically women are naturally feminine, and that's what I'm seeing some women saying, oh no, we're naturally feminine. What do you mean like we need to be more feminine? We're naturally feminine. But if you're saying you're naturally feminine because that's just a woman's nature to be feminine, then you should know when you go out in here into the world and you put on this masculine energy, you put on this masculine armor, that you're going against your nature. How do you think that's going to make you feel after a while, mentally and emotionally, and even physically? After a while, you're going to feel what? Tired. Because how long are you going to be able to keep up with that? You're not going to be able to keep up with that for very long before you get to the point where you're tired. It's no coincidence that all these women that are doing these videos are in their 40s. How long do you think your whole being biologically can stand you trying to operate outside of your nature? That's why you're so tired. Black women, maybe that's why you're so angry. Some of us, we try to say the stereotype, but some of us really are angry. Some of us walking around with attitude. Some of us, a dude just smile at you, try passing you in the street, and you mean mugging them. Girl, he ain't gonna talk to you. He just wanted to smile at a pretty girl. It's like, I need women to start really looking at some of that stuff, because some of those types of things are the reason why you in your 40s and you're single. And this ain't to nitpick you. Like, this ain't even what that's about. I'm just simply saying, like, at some point, like we gotta get it. Like it's gotta click. Or we just gonna keep this, this thing going without any kind of change. And unfortunately, the younger generation, the younger women coming up after us are gonna make the same mistakes because we haven't taken the time to figure it out so that we can help them.
It's real.
I mean,
That's
we gotta
real.
break the cycle.
Yeah, and I think part of it, let's say, just going back to the young lady's video, she mentioned a key point, right, that I think is taking place. I think another part of the issue is men and women are prioritizing their time at different times. Yeah, the young lady made a point where she said a lot of the good men were getting married in their 20s and 30s. But as we all know it, a lot of women today are taught to have fun and play around in their 20s and 30s. So see, right there is already a conflict. So while the dudes are trying to be serious, while the dudes are building, the ladies are being taught to go have fun and live it up in YOLO. And that's the difference. And see, this goes back to a point that Vince made. See, a lot of guys, especially guys who are raised around serious, driven people, they don't get a chance to play around like that. Yep, from the time that they are of age, they are being taught that they got to get out here and get busy. They got to get out here and be able to provide. They got to get a good job. They got to get their savings together. They got to, like, they already preparing you for protection of a woman early on. But I'm not sure that that's happening for the ladies. Yep, and a lady can correct me if I'm wrong, because I said I've never heard it before. I've never heard a female say that while she was growing up, she was being taught or prepared to be a wife. Yep, I've never heard that. Let me grab this comment real quick from Kenyatta Myrie. Shout out to Kenyatta Myrie. I said she's been rocking with us for a minute. Shout out to Kenyatta. She said, so I just had a conversation with someone today about masculine and feminine energy. She said her masculine energy is a defensive mechanism. Um, and okay, Kenyatta, I've heard that as well. I appreciate that comment. I've heard that as well. Um, and I think, men can understand that. Right. So, some of our women have been through some trauma scenarios. So, this masculine energy or them taking on this masculine position is a part of their defense mechanism. But I think the issue is that's supposed to be temporary. Yep, the masculine energy that you've taken on from that trauma scenario or that situation should not become you. Yep, it's not supposed to be permanent. Yep, and see, when a masculine man comes along to engage with that female who should be feminine naturally, and he runs up against this masculine energy, or essentially in his eyes runs up against another man, then he's going a different direction. He's going the other way. And that's what we see today. Yeah, we have a lot of young ladies walking around with this masculine energy trying to engage with masculine men. And that is a whole conflict. It doesn't work. There's no balance. Yeah, this whole thing is about balance. Masculine and feminine is all about balance. So let's say we can't have two masculines. We can't have two feminines. Like that's not gonna work. And shout out to Jalen Harris as well. Now the comments are working. I can see your comments coming in, but I appreciate that, Kenyatta. You want to say something, Vince, Chloe? Like you want to say something?
I want to make a couple points. We have to understand that it's a concerted effort to destroy Black culture and the Black family.
Yeah.
Since we came over here on the boat, it was a concerted effort, because you would think that the master would keep the families together to make them happy, so they can be better slaves.
Mm-hmm.
But they sold away the men, the children, so they can keep us divided.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a concerted effort to destroy our culture and our families.
Yeah.
And another point I would like to make is that we have to understand that we belong to one another.
Yeah.
We are in this together. The one thing they have done is separate the Black man and the Black woman, like we have two different agendas. And I'm going to give you two words that prove that. Donald Trump proved that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he ran the first time, I was like, how could this be? He has no experience. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But if you realize, he was talking to the rich, and he was talking to the average and the poor white male.
Mm-hmm.
And the poor white male who is married, his wife is going to do what's best for him. Even though Donald Trump said you're going to grab him by the vagina, the husband thought he's going to do better for me. And if he does better for me, then it's going to be better for you. I think that in our society, we have so much separated that we don't believe if the Black man is better, then the Black woman will be better. Everybody want their own agenda. Just like when the brother Ice Cube had an agenda for the Black male, the women were like, well, where's the Black female agenda? The Black men said, well, our agenda is y'all agenda. It's not separated. So that's
Yeah.
the thing we have to understand. We belong to one another. And I think somewhere we've lost the fact that they've pushed up the Black woman, which does not push up the Black family.
Right.
It pushes
Right.
up the Black woman,
Mm-hmm.
because the Black woman does not want to be the sole provider of the family.
Nor should she. Nor should
But
she.
a man's purpose and his role is to be the head. That does not mean being in control. That does not mean being the dictator. It
Right.
means having the responsibility of the family.
Right.
And a woman does not want that. I don't care, because the first thing that most women will tell you, well, I'm not gonna pay all the bills, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna. But that's what you want, equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men do it, so y'all can do it. Either let the man stay home or let the man work part time.
Right.
But that's not really in your nature. It's not. It does not work.
Mm-mm.
You never hear a woman say, "Oh, I bought my husband a Mercedes."
Yeah,
Right. Right. They
I
ain't
But
feel
men
like
doing
will
that.
say, "Oh yeah, I bought my wife a car," or because that's what he's supposed to do. A woman ain't gonna
Right.
sit up there. Oh yeah, I bought a house for me and my part-time working husband, and be
Right.
proud of that.
Right.
Men,
Right.
real men, are proud to be providers.
Facts. No, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. Let me get this comment from Jalen Harris. He says, I feel like the culture that we accept, i.e., the rap, the movies, the slang, and the acceptance of toxic influence causes a divide amongst the genders. And Jalen, yeah, no, that's real as well, man. That does play into it. Like I said, a lot of the content that we take in definitely plays into the divide. But like I said, we also have to be smarter than the content. And what I mean by that is there's always an external influence, but we have to have the ability, especially being grown folks, we have to have the ability to throw that stuff off to the side, ignore it, not feed ourselves with that, so that we can move forward and build like we were meant to do. Let me also get this second comment from Kenyatta. See, she says exactly, Quay. She told me that everyone can't be feminine like you, Kenyatta. I told her it's a time and a place to give certain energy, maybe in the workplace, not at home, not while intentionally. Facts, facts. And that's really the key. Everybody's going to have a situation. I'll just speak to females for this particular point. Females have an opportunity or have situations where they may have to be masculine, if you will,
or authoritative.
right, or authoritative,
Yeah.
or be firm,
Yeah.
right. There's always situations with somebody trying to test you, so you may have to tighten it up for a minute, right.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has to know that, once again, that's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're coming back to engage with the person that cares about you, or the man that is trying to engage you because he actually genuinely cares about you or has genuine interest in you, that masculine thing got to go away. Yeah, that doesn't work in that scenario. Let's see. Kenyatta also said dating or in a relationship or in a marriage. Facts, facts, facts.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say
Yeah.
something, Chloe?
Well, I wanted to piggyback off of, something that Vince said when he brought up the whole our history here in this country, right? And how we went into slavery here in this country. I'm sorry, how we were forced into slavery in this country. Let me use the right terminology. Um, they back then that's how they did it, right, Vince? Like they pulled the men out of the homes. They separated the women and their husbands. Like they even pulled the kids out of the homes. So they did it that way then, right? But once slavery was abolished, then they did it in other ways, right? They did it through the feminist movement. They did it through the welfare system, and basically, you not even being able to have a man in a home with you and expect to collect government assistance. Like it just wasn't going to happen, right? So they just did it in more covert ways. But this is what they've done, and then they propped up the woman, as Vince mentioned, they propped the black woman up, right? They propped us up because they saw, and I think, Kevin Samuels actually explained this way better. I was listening to him actually explain how this all works. But they saw that even when they began to attempt to prop up the black men, it wasn't doing the desired effect that they thought it would have, right? Based off what they had seen from the Caucasian culture, right? it wasn't having the desired effect, because at this point, the hierarchy in our community was women were, in a way, women were leading the households. Women had begun to lead their households. A lot of men weren't even in the house, right? So they said, well, okay, that's not working. So what are we going to do? Well, let's elevate the black woman. And all that did was further the divide. It was already a divide there, right? All that did was further the divide. And unfortunately, we just continue to perpetuate that. And I think now there's this resentment that we have for each other, when at the end of the day, again, backing up what Vince said, we were literally made for each other. There's way more to what's going on with us and why we experienced the treatment that we experienced here in this country, because there's a spiritual element to this as well. But at the same time, just even if you aren't ready to explore spiritually why we ended up in the situation that we ended up in as the original children of Israel, then let's just take it at face value then. And the fact of the matter is, systemically, there have always been methods or agendas that have been projected against us to create and then to further this divide. And we have taken it on. And now, literally, they don't have to do anything else. We're doing it ourselves. Women run around talking about how much they don't need a man until they're in their 40s and hit that wall. Then it's like, oh, I'm so tired. But I will say this. In general, in the woman's defense, not every woman, and I would even say a lot of women, were not taught what true femininity is. If they were not patterned that, if they did not have that example of a woman who lived in her feminine energy, then they're not going to know what that is. They also don't understand that submission is not conditional. Submission is not something that you decide to do. If you are a feminine woman, you are automatically submissive. Period. You're not just submissive to the man that has everything that you say he need to have. You are submissive to men in general. It doesn't matter if it's your brother, your cousin, your coworker, because submission is a mindset. Right? It's not a specific set of things that you do. It's a mindset. You either are submissive or you aren't. You either are feminine or you aren't. You can't decide, I'm going to be feminine for this guy, but I'm not going to be feminine for that guy. That means you're not truly feminine. Because if that's your nature, then you're just going to be feminine. I mean, there's more to being feminine than just being a woman. And we've watered down these definitions so much, and we've given them our meanings. And a lot of women, I feel, don't even know what really truly understand what femininity looks like and what being submissive really means. It definitely doesn't mean being a slave. It doesn't mean being subservient. That's not what it means. And if you were, and I'm speaking to the woman who is struggling with this concept of submission, I'm not speaking to every woman, only the woman who is struggling with it. If you were really submissive, this wouldn't be difficult for you to understand. If you were really feminine, this would not be difficult for you to understand.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
A man should never have to ask you to be submissive. A man should never have to ask you to be feminine. You know why men are asking? Men are asking because you're not. Men are asking because it's like they're like, you're a woman, like be feminine. They don't get it. They're like, I mean, you're a woman, aren't you supposed to be feminine? I don't understand why you're not feminine. And then women are getting upset, like, I mean, I'm a woman. What do you mean I'm a woman? But unfortunately, in today's society, being a woman does not automatically mean you're feminine. Because if you never had that example, if you've never seen it, or anybody's never taken the time to teach you what living in your femininity really feels like and what it looks like, then you know what? Honestly, you might not know. And I'd rather, as women, we do the assessment and say, dang, am I, like, am I being a little bit too masculine? Like, could I work on this? We get upset because men are asking for this. Why do you think at this time in society, in human history, why do we think now is when men all over everywhere is asking for women to be more feminine? Is it their problem, or is it because they've noticed that in this day women just aren't feminine anymore? In general, of course, I'm not speaking for every woman, but women just aren't feminine. So now men gotta ask. And then you get irritated because you're like, well, I'm a woman. What do you mean? It's like it's a stupid question. It's not. You are masculine. You want to lead everything. You want to tell a man that, hey, I want a man to lead me. But then you want to turn around and tell that man, this is how I need you to lead me. A masculine man is not going to allow you to tell him how to lead you. That's why, sis, it ain't working for you. That's why it's not working. Because when you run into a actual masculine man, he is not going to let you tell him how to lead, nor should you want him to let you tell him how to lead, because that defeats the purpose. You have never been a man. You do not know what he needs to do to lead you.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Well, man, like I said, I think we done came up on that time. Probably do some closing statements, then we'll get ready to get out of here. I don't know, Chloe, you got anything you want to say in closing before we get ready to wrap?
Just that, I don't know, just honestly, if I could say anything, like, I wish that the women who watch the show, who will come across the show at whatever point, I want for them to understand that everything that I am saying because I really truly care. Like, I authentically care about the state of our relationships in the Black community. Kenyatta just posted a comment a few minutes ago saying the slave owners knew how powerful we were as a Black family unit. And they still know to this day, because make no mistake about it, they still slave masters, and we still enslaved. It just look a lot different. And they still know how important and vital us being a family unit is to our community. And the longer they can keep us fighting each other about, I need a feminine woman, and you're too masculine, and well, you don't know how to lead me. And as long as they can keep us doing this, instead of actually trying to figure out, okay, why am I not feminine? Why am I having a problem with the idea of submission? And men, it's okay for you to want to make sure that a woman has the kind of qualities that you're looking for. Like, a woman should make sure you have the qualities that she's looking for. But let's stop having a table conversation if you have not given this woman a table. If you want her to put something on the table, baby, you got to come with the table. Okay? So while we so busy going back and forth about this table conversation and about feminine and submission and all of this and all of that, before we can even get to have those conversations, which are very important conversations, we need to each individually understand our roles and what our responsibilities are. Men, I need you to live out your role as leaders, and not just leaders in relationships. Sometimes men, I feel like y'all focus so much on leading in a relationship, y'all forget y'all supposed to be leaders in the community. Lead in your community. Lead there. Some women actually want to believe in y'all. Some women really, really want to get behind y'all. But some of us are seeing that you guys won't stand up. You won't raise your hand. You know, like we ready. We ready. Y'all, we'll get behind you. Some of us are ready to get behind you guys. But you've been so used to the black woman stepping out ahead of you that you just got to the point where you're like, well, shoot, let them have it. But the problem with that is, look, y'all took your hands off the wheel. And don't get me wrong, I know it's because we wore y'all down in a sense. So I get it. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but this now you see what happens when men take their hands off the wheel. This is what happens, ladies. And at what point, as women, are we going to accept accountability for the part that we played in it? Okay, because we said we can do this without y'all. We don't need y'all. So men were like, fine, you have it. Now we got 46-year-old women talking about how they're tired and lonely. Now we got our daughters out here talking about hot girl summer at 13. Like, we need our men. We need to put the men back in charge because we just we're not equipped. We're not. We don't have no balance, ladies, because the men are supposed to give us that. So just let's do a self-assessment, ladies. Let's really just take a second and let's look at ourselves for real so that we can stop having this particular conversation about what's wrong with the community and start having a conversation. I'm sorry, excuse me. Start having a conversation of, okay, now we get what the issues are. What can we do to fix them? That's where I'm at, y'all. I mean, y'all don't want to hear me talk about feminine and submission and all that no more. I'm tired of talking about it. Let's do something about it.
There it is. There it is. Vince, you want to say something in closing, man?
This whole submission thing is really perplexing to me because sometimes these ladies take the worst possible examples of this color purple, Tina Turner, massa type of. I'm like, where are you ladies getting some of this stuff from? That has nothing to do with submission. You know, submission means being, first of all, just being a willingly cooperative. You know, everybody has to submit. You got to submit to your job. You submit to your boss. So a lot of times, like I always go back to, pick better. Pick a man that, you know, in a marriage sense, that's like your boss. And then you won't have no problem submitting. If he was like your boss, stop picking these bums. Ladies, be more intentional. Ask more questions. But see, I think sometimes you ladies gotta pick these type of men because those are the type of men that I hate to say it, those are the type of men that you will get along with more. Because you're not really ready for a leader type man. You know? So, and it's perplexing to me because I come from boss women. My aunt who just passed, she was my boss. She was the founder of the group home that I own right now. I have one of my closest cousins is very high up in McDonald's, head of human resources, a real boss, feminine, cooperative. So it's not about well, I can't work, or I gotta tiptoe around. I gotta have a bonnet on, and I gotta wait and see if he gonna smack me in the mouth if I. What do you, ladies, stop watching all these movies? And you gotta understand, I was looking at the news today, and every segment was about some brother doing a crime, carjacking, or some other brother kidnapped a white lady and killed her. These other three brothers was. It's a concerted effort to destroy the black male image by white society and by our own media. So we have to understand this, and we have to just turn that garbage off and prop our black men up, because
Facts.
you're the one raising these boys.
Facts. Facts. That's real. That's real. That's real. Like I said, I'll just say this in closing before we get ready to get out of here. Once again, as I always say, ladies, how do y'all want this to go? Yep, going back to the video, 46-year-old woman, single, unmarried, nobody by her side. Ladies, how do y'all want this to go? There's guys out here. There's good guys out here. There's bad guys out here. What are you selecting? Are you selecting the dude that you can control? Are you selecting the dude that's going to lead? Are you trying to dictate how the dude is going to lead? How y'all want this to go? Whatever the answer to that question is, we ain't got a whole bunch of time. Basically the clock is ticking. And this whole thing, this whole relationship, marriage conversation, this whole thing, it ain't no game. All right, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to Kenyatta. Shout out to Jalen in the comments. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Definitely subscribe to the show. Like the show. Let's help us with the algorithm. Share out the show. Share it out to your social media platforms. I said we're trying to get to as many people as we can. Trying to spread this message to as many people as we can. I said this is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. There's no topic that we run from. Literally. I don't care what it is. If it's something that is going to help move us forward, if it is something that folks are scared to talk about it, we are going to discuss it on this show. That is why we're here. Everybody is going to have the opportunity to talk and speak their piece. We can have healthy debates. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to agree, whatever it is. But we are going to have the conversation. So, man, once again, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. With that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday.